Skadoosh.
Well, last week I prepared myself for Kung Fu Panda 4. And Aquafina as Jin. I love that.
Great addition.
The villain.
How do you fight this? The chameleon.
I love the callback to all the past villains.
It was a great way to work in some continuity from the movies without being too much. It was really good.
Yeah.
I can't believe Poe was dead the whole time.
Well, last week I prepared myself for Kung Fu Panda 4, especially with our 3.5-year-old going with us on Saturday. We had already watched the first one together. Viv and I spent one day out of last week. I can't remember which day it was, but we watched Kung Fu Panda 2, Kung Fu Panda 3, and probably watched them again after that. That's a 3.5-year-old for you. Just having that background going into this made me really appreciate Kung Fu Panda because I never really got to watch the first one until Matt and I watched it with Viv the other day. Jack Black, he needs to be protected.
He does. He was so good
He
in this.
needs to be protected so badly.
Dude, I was so surprised. I was trying to make a poll of Jack Black's best performances, but I wanted to keep it kid friendly.
Yeah.
But I was trying to find other cartoon characters and stuff. He's not played that many.
No, he hasn't.
Which is surprising because of how animated he is.
Yeah,
you know?
and his voice is so iconic. I mean, he's going to be in the
Badlands.
Badlands.
No,
Borderlands.
Yeah.
He's going to be
in Minecraft.
Yeah,
he's also in the Minecraft movie.
He's going to be voicing he's the robot in Borderlands.
And he was R.L. Stein in Goosebumps.
Yes, that's true. It seems like he has cycles of movies that come through.
Yeah.
Because it made me think back to when Saving Silverman.
Oh my god. Saving Silverman. Jesus.
I know it's probably horrible now.
Oh yeah,
there's
no way Saving Silverman holds up.
And then
or
School of
Shallow
Rock.
Hal.
Bad.
Dude, no way. Or of course Mars Attacks. I also love his guest appearance on Community. Where they act
Did we make it?
Yeah, I think it's season 1.
Oh, okay.
Where they come back from Christmas break and he acts like he was there, and they CGI green screen him into scenes.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, Britta." It's so funny. I loved that. That shit was funny.
But I really like what they did with this movie, especially the villain.
Yeah, no, the villain was great,
and how they. Which they say her name in the trailer, the chameleon.
Yeah. How do you fight this? The chameleon.
And Aquafina as Jin.
Yeah.
I love that.
Great addition.
Little fox.
Yeah.
I loved it. And also, I was trying to tell you this the other night, I think. I love the fact that these movies use almost all the animals that you can find in China.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I've noticed that. And I really like that because red pandas, you can't really find them much anywhere else except for...
Yeah. I'll be honest, until he said he was a red panda, I had no idea he was a red panda.
It seemed like I knew it at one point.
I thought he was like a raccoon. For real.
Tanuki?
Maybe.
Eric said...
Just without the big balls.
I never watched this, Eric. Nacho Libre.
I never watched it either. I'm surprised you didn't, because it was the dude that made Napoleon Dynamite.
I really wanted to.
Yeah.
Because the guy that played...
I didn't, because I didn't want to...
Pedro.
Napoleon Dynamite. I
think the guy that played Pedro is in it.
I think so. I think he is, with Jack Black. Yeah.
I love the callback to all the past villains and masters.
It was a great way to work in some continuity from the movies without necessarily being too much, you know. It was really good.
Yeah, I really liked it. Dustin Hoffman as Shifu is he always cracks me up.
I mean, I'll be honest, I feel like the two dads steal the show.
Oh yeah, the two dads, Mr. Ping and Lee.
Yeah,
Bryan Cranston. As Lee the panda.
So good, man. They're so funny together.
They're so
and
sweet.
Me coming in, obviously, like I said, I've only watched the first one, and then I've heard the stories of the second, third one, and so I knew that Poe had been left and was adopted by Mr. Ping, and then he found his dad. I didn't know his dad was hanging out with him now. And so he has his two dads together, and they don't really explain that in this, and so they come across as a same-sex couple, which is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, that's not a negative thing at all. But it just I can only imagine where we live, people are stupid, and I could see just the idiots taking their kids to watch Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yes.
And thinking that it's...
out.
Yeah, thinking that it's like...
Yeah.
You know, woke. Which I don't even want to use because it's stupid the way people have just co-opted that word.
Well, and I told Matt the third one, that Mr. Ping, he hides in Poe's backpack.
Yeah.
And Poe's like, what are you doing? Nobody's seen the Panda Village. Nobody else's eyes has laid eyes on it. And Mr. Ping's like, what if you get hungry? And like, he's so worried that
he loves
his biological dad's going to steal him.
Yeah.
But then he gets to the Panda Village, sees Poe interacting with other pandas that are like him, and he's like, they all look like me. And Mr. Ping comes to terms with that.
Yeah.
And at some point, all the little pandas, he starts feeding them. And it's so sweet. And I love it so much. And just to see the other pandas from the village came down to the Valley of Peace. And at the beginning, I didn't expect that to be there. I was like, oh my God, all the baby pandas are here. I can't believe this.
That's sweet.
Yeah. And that Lee and Mr. Ping are running the noodle shop together.
Yeah.
Like,
it was great.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And I got to say, we kind of mentioned this during the box office numbers, but the way that they kind of treat this almost like not really a reboot, but like a fresh jumping on point.
Yeah.
Right. That also kind of includes losing pretty much all of the
Furious 5.
Yeah, like the supporting cast.
Yeah.
You know,
Furious 5 are off doing their own thing.
Yeah, which they're I've got a little bit to say about that. It's technically spoilery, so I'll save it. But yeah, like, you know, as you can see in the poster, they're not in it at all. No. And so like I did appreciate the fact that they kind of simplified things, you know, lowered the cast number a little bit so that it's a little bit easier to watch.
Yeah.
You know, basically you have all of 5 characters that you really keep up with. I mean, even...
Well, they do something similar in the third one. You only see Tigress most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, it does help.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Especially, I feel like it gives Awkwafina's character a chance to really shine. As opposed to, like, if the other 5 were, like, hanging around also, you know. And, like you said, bringing back the past villains, only one of them really talks, but, I mean, it's still the other are there. You know, they're just, you know. And then there was something online... People were apparently complaining that Mr. Beast is in this movie. Yeah. Like, Mr. Beast
only says one thing.
One word. Literally one word.
Skadoosh.
And that's it. And then he's gone. And it's funny. I mean, I don't know. Who gives a crap?
And it plays on the, like I told you, it plays on the joke of, in the third one at the beginning, they have a look-alike contest with Poe.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ping's like, you won't be there to judge the look-alike contest. He's like, Mrs. Blah 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 always wins it, and it shows her, and it's a pig.
Yeah.
With makeup on it, looks like Poe. So it's funny that they still followed up with it with a different pig.
Yeah,
that's still
it's good
in panda makeup. I loved it.
Now I will say, as far as animated movies go, I typically prefer like Pixar and Disney. Illumination's growing on me. But there's a lot that I'm not usually sold on. But DreamWorks is pretty hit or miss with me. But this was fantastic. Yes, like they really did a great job with this. I was very like I enjoyed the movie while I was watching it. It didn't feel stupid. Like it felt like it had heart as well as, you know, a fun story. And like they didn't have to go so hard in the action scenes. My God. There's some really good action scenes in this.
Oh yeah.
Like there's one part where Poe like goes down into a sewer or something, and like basically like a smoke bomb goes off, and the whole fight is in like silhouettes. And it's so good. Like it's so rad, man. Like they did a really good job on this.
Yeah.
The Britney Spears "Hit Me Baby One More Time" song played by Tenacious D, which is phenomenal. Still makes no sense as to why they use that song. Like it's just in the credits. I mean, hit. That's basically the only reason it's used, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still fantastic. Like I loved it.
I loved it too.
And I mean, it kept our daughter's attention. She's 3.5.
Only left the theater to do something 3 times.
Yeah.
That's a record.
Yeah.
So.
And so I mean, like, I give it some pretty high praise for that. I mean, the fact that it could keep her attention. The fact that I also enjoyed it, the fact that it had some moral, lessons and like good things for kids, and like it wasn't trying to be raunchy, and it wasn't trying to be adult.
No,
like it was. It's just a good family movie,
like how we grew up with DreamWorks.
Like Shrek.
Yeah,
or even like Super Pets. Like I think about Super Pets, and I'm like,
and that's an Illumination movie. Like that still blows my mind.
Yeah. So, or no, that's not Illumination. That's Warner Brothers.
I thought. Super Pets. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of
Secret Life of Pets.
Yes,
which still also had
had some wild stuff in it.
Yeah. But definitely, I liked it a lot.
Me too.
If somebody had not seen any Kung Fu Panda movies, would you suggest they go watch this?
Yeah, I think so.
I agree.
It's very warm-hearted and like you said, has good lessons in it and stuff.
I would say, especially if you have a kid and you're looking to take them to something, I think you would be hard-pressed to find something more enjoyable right now in theaters. I think that this is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
Even if Migration was still at your local theater, I would still recommend this over that.
Buenos noches, Eric.
Bye, Eric. Oh, Eric, before you go, this is
the bowl.
This is a popcorn bucket.
It's a noodle bowl, but it's a popcorn bucket.
Yeah, it comes with these three guys hanging off the side of it.
Mr. Ping, Po, and Jin.
There you go. So, I would say number 2.
Oh, the Dune. Oh God.
So number 1 popcorn bucket.
Number 2.
Number 2. And remember, you just gotta kind of give it a little bit of that. All right. Bye, Eric. Thanks for coming by. So yeah, definitely, I think it's worth checking out. If you're not a fan of Kung Fu Panda, this is not going to do anything to make you like Kung Fu Panda. And if you're not into CG cartoons, I don't think that this is going to make you like CG cartoons either. But if you see the trailer for this and you think it could be good, I say give it a shot. Yeah. It's really good.
Oh, does the figures move? Yes, you can move them around the bowl however you need to.
They come out.
And it looks like you can put them on a side of a cup, because I know some like I remember Sailor Moon having figures where you can hang them off like a teacup and stuff.
And it's Mr. Ping, Kung Fu Panda, and Jin, which is Aquafina's character. Yeah. So there you go. I actually really like this.
I love it. I told Viv, I said, what if we eat noodles out of that?
Like thematically, I think it's a good tie-in.
Yeah, I think it is. I love the panda decal on the front.
Yes. Yes. I always like things that exist within the world being the popcorn bucket. Yeah. Like the Ghostbusters thing is going to be a good one. Like I like that more than just like a stylized popcorn bucket, but really good. Yeah. So now we're going to talk a little bit of spoilers. A little bit. So we'll go into spoilers. Just a little bit. And we do have the hotline. If anybody does have any thoughts about Kung Fu Panda that wants to call in, please feel free to do so now. So, I can't believe Po was dead the whole time. So, via discussing film, Kung Fu Panda movies are reportedly always fixed around 90 minutes because studio execs think that the children can't sit through a longer movie. Also, I'm gonna mute you. Also, the more screenings you can fit it in a day, the more money you can make. So the studio very focused on something's happening with the computer. So the studio obviously very focused on making a movie that they can get a lot of money for, and not necessarily worried about storytelling, which, I mean, that's what a studio is for, I guess. I don't agree with them, but I get that that's usually what studios are trying to do. But I don't feel like the movie necessarily suffers for any of that. But I mean, it does suck that, that's kind of a mandate to keep it at, at 90 minutes or whatever. Do you gotta go? Okay, gotcha. So, spoilers still, via discussing film, the Furious 5 were last minute additions in Kung Fu Panda 4. So, if you've watched the movie, you know that the Furious 5 do not show up until the very, very end of the movie. They come in for a cameo. None of the voice actors return. It's literally just an action cameo. And I think it's during the credits. Like, yes. I think they show up and then they just start doing like super moves and stuff. Oh, sorry, you're muted.
Po says,
You're fine.
Because somebody asked, "Where's the Furious Five?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, they're all on their own adventures."
Yeah.
And like Tigress, I can't remember what Tigress was doing, but Mantis, which is Seth Rogen, is trying not to get his head bitten off by his new bride, which is funny because he did say in the third movie that he wanted to settle down.
Nice.
So it still plays in that to the continuity of everything, and that Crane became like the king of the Crocs.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But it's really cool that was referenced like that. But yeah, at the end, at the credits,
they just show up.
They just show up for training, but you never hear.
Yeah, and they said that many animators on the film were advocating to bring them back, but it was marketing, which stepped in and gave the order to include them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I guess like people were like, "Hey, where the fuck is the rest of the cast at?" Like, you know. Plus, we want to sell toys.
Yeah.
So we need the rest of the characters to sell more toys. Like, yeah, I get that. I mean, completely
our
get
little
that.
girl, like, she asked me today to draw Poe.
Yeah.
And I mean, she sat there and she said, "I'm going to draw Mr. Ping and the tiger and the snake." Like, she remembered all those characters, which also they're animals. I mean, hello, that's perfect. But like, kids pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still think it was a good idea to pare it down, but it was good to actually bring them back also.
Yeah.
You know, I think for the plot, it was good, but yeah, I mean, it'd be like if you go watch a Toy Story movie and like Slinky and Mr. Potato Head and Rex, and like none of them being there, you know, or Jessie. Yeah. You know, it'd be like if none of them were there.
Yeah, if you never saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would suck.
Yeah. I mean, kids pay attention to that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They'll be like, why isn't this person why didn't they show up?
Yeah.
Whatever. And also they made a big deal out of them in the first one.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
second one
they were like
all
heroes
together. Yeah.
Yeah.